Imagine yourself with a life-threatening illness or injury and the inability to make medical decisions for yourself. Would first responders, doctors, and your family know what level of treatment you would or wouldn't want? There's only one way to make sure. It's called advanced care planning. It involves putting your wishes in writing and selecting a trusted person in your life to make healthcare decisions on your behalf should you lose the ability to do so. The person you choose is often referred to as your healthcare power of attorney. The document you complete is called an Advance Directive or living will. Advanced care planning is important at any stage of life. Because it's a living document, it's easily updated to stay current with your wishes. The first step is to pick someone you would trust to speak for you if you needed urgent health care and you couldn't speak for yourself. That person is your backup decision maker, sometimes called a durable power of attorney for healthcare, or POA. The best person for this job lives close by or is at least easily reached in a crisis. They know the healthcare system and healthcare matters well enough to take part in discussions with doctors, nurses, and others involved in your care. They're able to make decisions during stressful times and agree to make healthcare choices that are in line with your wishes, even if they don't agree with your choices. The next step is to ask that person to be your healthcare power of attorney. Talk with them about the kinds of healthcare you would and would not want if a crisis happened. If your feelings about a breathing machine or feeding tube depend on whether your doctors think you're likely to get better, then say so. Ask the person if they'd be willing and able to carry out your wishes. If they say yes, then give them a copy of your Advance Directive for safekeeping. Once you have chosen someone as your healthcare POA, the next step is to make a living will. That is a document that makes clear what type of healthcare you would want if you were too sick or hurt to speak for yourself. In Nebraska, this document must be notarized or witnessed by two adults who are not healthcare providers or family members. Here are types of healthcare you might touch on in your living will. Cardiopulmonary resuscitation, or CPR, if you have no pulse and your heart is not pumping blood. Intubation and mechanical ventilation, if you cannot breathe on your own. Dialysis, if your kidneys have failed. A feeding tube, sometimes called a PEG tube, if you cannot safely swallow regular food and drink. Something else to think about is a DNR/DNI order, short for Do Not Resuscitate, Do Not Intubate. Serious healthcare choices often come down to one question: what makes life worth living for you and you alone? Is there a life event or milestone that you wouldn't want to miss, such as a family wedding or the birth of a newborn? Would an event like this sway your decision to have a major medical procedure? Are there aspects of your health that make day-to-day living a struggle? Have you decided that you would or wouldn't choose to have certain surgeries or procedures like chemotherapy, CPR, dialysis, a breathing machine, or a feeding tube? These are choices often put into a living will. Your living will may also be influenced by your own fears about changes in your quality of life. For example, do you fear not being able to know or talk with your family, or needing 24/7 nursing home care? If you were faced with this, would it change the health care you would want to get? An Advance Directive or living will gives you a chance to spell this out. Take time to think about all this. Write down any strong feelings you may have, and then talk with your healthcare provider about your living will. It's an important step at any age or stage of life for you, your loved ones, and your healthcare providers.